Happy Friday. Hope you're doing well. It's bright and sunny here in Nairobi. Um, Again, I've been reflecting on this book, which will share my thoughts. This week I was reading, it was saying there's time for everything. There's time now in relation to money. There's time to invest, and there's time to reap from your investment. And one of the challenges I have with the FIRE movement, which is financial independence, retire early, is the overemphasizing of frugality. You have to deny yourself now for a big future tomorrow. And I know there's a time for that, and that's why I started. There's a time for everything. There's a time to be frugal and a time to spend. If you talk to any person from the FIRE movement, one of their challenges that they will have, because they are used to frugality, is when it comes to spending. They will have a challenge spending their money because they want to optimize their dollars, their Kenya shillings, their resources. So that will be a challenge. And there's a time to be born and a time to die. And in between there, life is full of experiences, of memories. But those experiences requires you to have time and sometimes to have money if you want to have the best experiences. So frugality is for a purpose. It's not for forever. It's not for accumulation of finances. Because what's the purpose of money without any job description you're giving the money? So I'm really enjoying this book, which is changing my perspective. I will confess, I prescribe to the FIRE movement, but I'm coming away from that. The aspect of frugality, I know there's a time for that, but there's also a time to spend, and to spend on experiences. And there's something I'll read for you. There's a time for everything. Time to plant, in this case, to plant your money, and a time to reap it. Time to live, and of course, a time to die. He has made everything beautiful in his time. So our job is to know this time is the time for what? Is it the time for planting in terms of being frugal? Is it the time for harvesting in terms of spending our money? So we need to know the times we are in, and everyone's time is different. There's people who planted 10 years ago. This is the time that they're harvesting. So you need to know your journey, where you are. But life is interesting. We'll not wait for you to have invested a lot of money and then now it's time to enjoy. I'm coming to realize that we need, even in the time of planting, in terms of investing our money, we need to create experiences within that time. I'll ask you a question. Remember when, especially for those who are in Africa, Nairobi especially, back in the day, when I used to visit family members, friends, one of the first things they used to give me is a photo album to see maybe their wedding, and that was part of the entertainment. You see the albums, how they were small, how they were doing this, and what they're actually doing is to relive a memory that they experienced 20, 30 years ago. And those memories, yes, they have passed, but they get a sense of joy reliving that experience with you. Of course, nowadays in the area of social media, Your phone gives you a reminder. Last year, time like this, you were in Barcelona or you were here. And when you see that photo, you invested in that experience, you enjoy that experience, but you also have a dividend of reliving it again now. And in this book, he talks about memory dividend. Just like, for example, if you invest in stocks, you get dividend. Experience, when you invest in an experience, let's say you travel abroad, you are paying money for that, let's say a cruise, and you experience the joy of being in that island. But when you come back to reality, after having 10 days where you are, when you look at the photos, you relive that experience that you had 2 years ago. So that's what he called memory dividend. Just like we have stock dividend, we also have memory dividend that it's a benefit for us having an experience. So regardless of the season you are, season of planting in terms of investing, season of harvesting the investment, I think even in the season of planting, you should invest your time in experiences, and those experiences have memory dividend. I don't know what you think about that. I found that very interesting. And actually what he said here, there's some experiences that can only be done once in your life. Let's say mountain climbing. As I shared this last week, I cannot climb Mount Sinai again. I climbed it like 5 years ago in my 30s. Now in my 40s, especially post-stroke, I cannot climb that mountain, even if I want to and I have the resources. So there's some experiences you need to experience at a certain point in your life, because some experiences requires you to be in better shape in terms of your body. Anyway, interesting book. Recommend this book for it will. You may not agree with everything he says, but it will challenge your thinking, especially for those in the FIRE movement of financial independence, retire early. This will change your perspective because your perspective is frugality. His perspective is spending, and he was also in the FIRE movement. So anyway, enjoy the read. And that was just my reflection for this week. You have a blessed day. Bye-bye. Take care and God bless.